Planet Earth is facing a hidden danger. It's a threat we can't easily see, but it's everywhere. We call them microplastics. Microplastics are tiny pieces of plastic, smaller than 5 millimeters. That's about the size of a sesame seed. They are a major problem for our environment. These tiny particles are now found all over the world, from the highest mountains to the deepest oceans. They are even in the air we breathe. Microplastics don't disappear. They stay in the environment for a very long time, causing harm to wildlife and potentially to us. Microplastics come in two main types. First, there are primary microplastics. These are tiny particles made to be small from the start. Think about microbeads in your face wash or glitter in your arts and crafts. These are examples of primary microplastics. These tiny particles are designed for specific purposes, but once they enter the environment, they become a big problem. Primary microplastics are too small to be caught by most filters. They easily end up in our rivers, lakes, and oceans. The second type is secondary microplastics. These are formed from the breakdown of larger plastic items. Imagine a plastic bottle lying in the sun. Over time, the sun's rays break down the plastic into smaller and smaller pieces. These pieces become secondary microplastics. The same thing happens to plastic bags, fishing nets, and other plastic waste. The breakdown process can take hundreds of years. All the while, microplastics are accumulating in the environment. Microplastics come from a wide range of sources. One major source is plastic waste that isn't properly disposed of. When plastic ends up in landfills or litters our streets, it slowly breaks down into microplastics. These tiny particles then find their way into our waterways. Another significant source is our clothes. Synthetic fabrics like polyester and nylon release microplastics during washing. Even car tires shed microplastics as they wear down. These particles are carried into the environment by wind and rain. Section 5. Impact on marine life, a silent killer in our oceans. The ocean is particularly vulnerable to microplastic pollution. Marine animals often mistake microplastics for food. Small fish and filter feeders like mussels and oysters ingest these tiny particles. This can block their digestive systems and lead to starvation. Larger marine animals, such as sea turtles and whales, also consume microplastics. These particles can accumulate in their stomachs, causing a false sense of fullness. Microplastics can also absorb harmful chemicals from the surrounding water. When ingested, these toxins can poison marine life. Section 6. Impact on land microplastics in our food chain. The problem of microplastics is not limited to the oceans. It also affects life on land. Soil is becoming increasingly contaminated with microplastics. These tiny particles can be ingested by earthworms and other soil organisms. This disrupts the delicate balance of the soil ecosystem. Microplastics have also been found in crops like wheat and rice. This raises concerns about their potential entry into our food chain. Section 7. Human health risks. Can microplastics harm us? Scientists are still studying the potential health risks of microplastics to humans. We know that we are exposed to these tiny particles through the food we eat, the water we drink, and the air we breathe. Microplastics have been found in bottled water, seafood, and even beer. They can also be inhaled, especially in areas with high levels of plastic pollution. While the long-term effects of microplastic ingestion are still unknown, some studies suggest potential harm to our digestive system, immune system, and hormonal balance. Section 8. Solutions, turning the tide on microplastic pollution. The good news is that we can all take action to reduce microplastic pollution. One important step is to reduce our reliance on single-use plastics. Say no to plastic bags, straws, and cutlery. Choose reusable alternatives whenever possible. Support businesses that are committed to reducing plastic waste. We can also install microplastic filters on our washing machines. These filters trap microplastics released from synthetic clothing during laundry. Another solution is to support the development and use of biodegradable plastics. These plastics break down naturally in the environment, reducing plastic pollution. Section 9. Conclusion. A call to action for a cleaner future. Microplastics pose a significant threat to our planet, but by understanding the problem and taking action, we can make a difference. We need to act now to protect our oceans, our land, and our health. Let's work together to create a cleaner and healthier future for generations to come. Every small step we take can have a big impact on reducing microplastic pollution. Let's choose to live more sustainably and protect the planet we call home.